All right, hello, everybody. Hey, welcome to Daniel's Den. We are about to jump into some great content by none other than Miss Edith Smith. I'm telling you right now, I was on Daniel's Den Live Saturday night, letting you guys know that you needed to pay attention to this live event that was going to happen Sunday night. And man, it was even bigger and better than I could even imagine. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to an amazing leader, one of our WOW Women of Wealth Builders, Miss Edith Smith. You're going to have to just strap in, and as she mentions, hold on to them pearls, ladies. Hold on, you'll see what I mean in just a moment.
Pleasure one time of really sitting down and speaking, or should I say listening to Miss Edith Smith share some testimonies and some things with me. Of course, she won't be able to share them all with you tonight, but when I tell you this lady has some history that you couldn't even imagine. So I'm just excited. So I'm gonna get out of here. And Miss Edith, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so that you can now come on in and give us that awesome testimony. Over to you, Miss Edith Smith. Did she drop off? Welcome to the main event. There you are, beautiful.
Thank you. And I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control and I think I like it. Good evening, everybody. My name is Edith Smith, AKA the Gold Diva. Now, let me tell y'all something. When Miss Sherry Brown reached out to me last week and asked me to be a part of this episode of the main event, I was shocked, I was floored, I was flabbergasted. I even had to clutch my pearls because I just didn't know what to say. But I said yes, and I'm glad that I did because I'm here and I'd like to bring you just a little bit about me. I came from a small city in southeast Alabama called Phoenix City, Alabama. Now, Phoenix City made its claim to fame back in the mid-50s when it was when a movie was made about it called The Phoenix City Story. Phoenix City had a lot of gangsters, a lot of bootlegging and gambling, a little prostitution. And the man who was running for Attorney General, John Patterson, was killed because he wanted to clean up Phoenix City and that surrounding area. So that's where I came from, right across the river from Columbus, Georgia. As a matter of fact, my house was 5 blocks and 1 bridge from Georgia. Okay. Now, my mother was a school teacher. My father worked as a civil service employee at Fort Benning, Georgia. So I came up in what was called a lower upper middle class home. And I'm gonna let that sink in for just a moment, okay? Because my parents provided for me well. I never, ever wanted for anything. We were the first house on the block to have a large console TV, so that the night that the Supremes made their debut on the Ed Sullivan Show, a lot of you remember the Ed Sullivan Show, our living room was packed because everybody wanted to stand in front of this, what's equivalent now to our big screen TVs. We had a big old console that sat in the living room and everybody was there to see it. I tell you what, my life was really, really great. I marched with Martin Luther King and Representative John Lewis when they were demonstrating back years and years ago to desegregate the buses and the public library. Now the schools, that was no big deal about the schools because of Fort Benning, Georgia. They were like desegregated overnight, because we had a lot of military kids going to the schools. So that was no big deal about the schools, but it was the buses and the public libraries that I demonstrated for, got arrested, ended up, my mother almost lost her job because of me trying to seek freedom. And I've been seeking freedom all of my life. Once I finished school, I moved to Atlanta and I got a job. I started working at Grady Hospital here in Atlanta, Georgia, one of the largest hospitals in the Southeast. And I worked there for about 5 years. And I'm always trying to go and strive to get higher and higher and do better things. And I got a job with a company called C.E. Loomis, was one of the largest construction companies that built offshore oil rigs. You know, when you're down in Louisiana or in Texas and you see these offshore rigs, well, this company built that. That's where I was one of the first African American women to learn how to do topography and to build models for these oil rigs. And I worked there for about 3, 4, 5 years, I guess. And then my dream job came along. My dream job was with Delta Airlines. I flew as a flight attendant for Delta for about 15 years. And I was able to go places and do things that a girl from a small town in Phoenix City, Alabama would have never thought about doing. But the most joyous thing to me was to be able to take my mother to places where she had taught other people's children about, to London, to see Buckingham Palace, the changing of the guards, the crown jewels, London Bridge, to Paris, to see the Eiffel Tower. We took cruises, and we sat on beaches, and we sipped on Bahama Mamas, you know? So we had a good time, and I enjoyed being able to lavish my mother with a lot of things that she had taught about, but she never had any idea that she was going to be able to see these things. Well, I was, my dad died when I was probably about 10 years old. And so actually it was my mother and I. So I was kind of brought up by a single parent when you think about it. Now, like I said, I never wanted for anything. My mother, she always provided for me and made sure that I was safe and sound. I'm going to regress just a little bit and go back to Phoenix City. The first Friday of every month, the KKK burnt a cross right back of our house. And I could sit on my back porch and see that. That was impressed upon my mind as to what I needed to do for myself and for my mother to hopefully bring us up out of that. And I was able to do so. Times have changed, of course. Like I said, I marched with Dr. Martin Luther King and I marched with John Lewis, and that put me on my path to freedom. Now, after working for Delta for about 15 years or so, my mother passed, and I was so devastated. I didn't know what in the world to do. And I stopped flying. I went into a little bit of a funk, like depression, I guess you could say. And I was down and out for about a year or so because I just couldn't fathom the fact that I did not have my mother with me anymore. But one day I woke up and I realized that I had to bring myself up. If nobody else was going to help me, I had to bring myself up. So I pulled myself up, went back to Grady, and worked at Grady for 25 years. I retired August 2018 after 25 years. Now, in 2008, while being employed at Grady, the economy dropped. They offered early retirement. I wasn't ready to retire. I'm enjoying what I was doing. I was helping people. So I stayed on. In 2009, 2010, a friend of mine came to me and said, Edith, put $1,000 into Bitcoin. And I looked at him and I went like, I don't know what Bitcoin was. Nobody knew what Bitcoin was at that time. It looked like a black hole to me. And I just said, no, I'm not going to do that. Okay, well, that's fine. I continued to work. And he came back to me again. But again, of course, I said no. But as years went on, I began to see, like how they say, the handwriting on the wall. Okay, things were changing at Grady. And I knew that it was time for me to get up and go. So I requested my retirement package. A couple of weeks after getting the request in, I received the package. So I'm sitting at my desk and I'm flipping through all these papers and everything. And once again, I had to clutch my pearls because what I saw on that paper, what they were going to give me for retirement was what I had figured on more than that. I had sat down and I had figured this up and everything. And I'm going like, oh no. So I called human resources. I called my human resources rep, Thaddeus, and got him on the phone. And I said, Thad, there's something wrong here. I said, is it a decimal point out of place, or is there a number missing? I said, because what I see on this paper is not what I'm supposed to be getting. I've been here for 25 years. He said, Edith, remember back in 2008, when the economy crashed and we offered early retirement, you said, no, you didn't want to go. You stayed on. Well, at that point in time, your benefits were capped. I said, capped? He said, yes, your benefits were capped. I retired in 2018 with a 2008 retirement package. I clutched my pearls again. I'm going like, this has got to be totally wrong. All right. To add insult to injury, Delta Airlines even knocked about $250 off of my retirement package that I was already receiving from them. I'm going like, oh my God, this is just about to be too much. But I had to get away from grading. And I did. And I'm glad that I did. The third punch. I forgot about this one. My 401s. I had two. Do you know that my 401s had been ravaged to the point where I lost someplace about $70,000 total out of both of my IRAs, my 401s? I'm going like, what in the world is going on here? But I had to just hold on and keep on going because I wasn't going to let that get me down. I knew that there was something else out there. Didn't know what it was at the time, but I knew that there was something else out there. Here is Gold Standard Partners. And thanks to Ms. Rod's range, that's why I'm where I am today with Gold Standard Partners. I have been stacking my G99s. I've been stacking my XLTs. I've been stacking the NFTs. I got nodes. I got DeFi, and I'm staking. I have positioned myself so that when my time comes for me to really need something or somebody to take care of me, I'm going to be able to take care of myself. I won't have to depend upon somebody coming to see about me, coming to make sure that I have a good roof over my head or whatever the case might be. I'm going to be able to take care of myself. And that's what everybody that's listening to me here today needs to do. You need to take care of yourself. And if you're still working, you need to position yourself so that eventually you can fire that boss and become your own boss. Because this economy is changing and it's not changing for your good. You're going to have to make your good. You're going to have to make the way that you need it to be for you. Because you have your own candle that's in front of you that has its own light. And you are the one that's going to have to keep that light going. Nobody is going to keep it going for you. So once again, I'm saying to particularly those people who are guests here on this line, well, not on this line, but here on this call tonight, people who are guests and who are just looking, stop. Don't look any further. This is it. This is where you need to be so that you can prepare yourself for what is coming ahead. Okay, things are not going to get any better for you financially on your job unless you own your job, which most of us do not. Things are not going to get any better. So once again, I'm saying to you, and I want to make sure I'm saying this right, Gold Standard Partners is my path to freedom, and Gold Standard Partners can be your path to freedom. The choices that you make will dictate your story. You've heard part of my story, and now all I've got to say is, let's go. Thank you so much for letting me share a little bit of me with you. I love everybody. Let's go.
Oh my goodness. Look, y'all. Come on now. Give it up for Edith Smith. And Miss Edith, Man, you had to make me go get my pearls, girl. Girl, I was clutching my pearls. I had to go put them on, ladies. Look, you better grab your pearls. Come on now, 2X. You better clutch the pearls. Because I'm telling you, Miss Edith Smith, she done been some places that majority of us as young women have not been. She done seen some things, y'all. She knows some things. Can you hear in her testimony? She knew business. Hey, she says that decimal point in the wrong place. Come on now. She knew how to count her money. And I'm telling you, I thank you so much for clutching your pearls and just hanging in there and found a better way. Shout out to Roz Range for being your sponsor and also Debbie Shaw's sponsor. And girl, you made me clutch my pearls. I think they're about to fall apart. I'm clutching them so hard. But I'm telling you guys, see, I told y'all, most of y'all didn't know about Miss Edith Smith, but I sit down and had a conversation because why? I know this book that said the older women are supposed to teach the younger women. But what's going on today is that when the older women are teaching these younger women, they're not listening. They're not listening because what? It's too much noise. It's too many distractions. They don't think sitting on the porch or sitting at the kitchen table talking to somebody like a Miss Edith Smith can change their life. They think they got to TikTok their way out of here. Well, you're going to TikTok your way into somewhere you don't want to be. I suggest.
Oh my goodness, man. I love hearing from our amazing leaders. And Miss Edith Smith has a very, very special place in my heart. Of course, Miss Sherry Brown does too. Listen to me. I want everybody under the sound of my voice. Get back with the person sharing this content with you. Miss Edith Smith shared a part of her success journey and her success story. She mentioned so much about a broken system and tapping into something that is going to and is empowering her financially now and going to empower her in the future too. She mentioned a lot of great content. She talked about that 401k failing. Listen, she's not a unique case in terms of that 401k not working the way that people want it to work. Listen, you have an opportunity to shift to a different way of controlling your money where you're actually in control and not subject to different circumstances. Get back with the person sharing this content with you. We're here to support you all the way. Our WealthBuilders Worldwide team will not leave you alone. This is a short glimpse of our main event. It's a live training we have every Sunday night, and we've had it for several years. WealthBuilders Worldwide has been in business for over 8 years. Now, our GS Partners business is celebrating a year, and it is doing some amazing things that have never been done before. Miss Edith mentioned some of that at the tail end. So listen, get back with that person who's sharing this content with you right away. We have a simple 3-step progress or process to help you be successful, and it's literally just three short steps. All right, and let me go ahead and move this out the way for you. But it's just get started, acquire your $49 annual fee to give yourself an activation into this amazing world to start activating your passive income, accumulate and acquire assets. Notice what we're telling you. We're telling you to get stuff that can actually not be stuff, but actually create more passive income for you. Assets create more passive income, and then share with other people, right? That's our basic 3-step process. And to help you get on board with that process, get connected to our live events. Like I mentioned, this was just a glimpse of our main event, a Sunday night training every Sunday night at 9 p.m. We have a live power call at 10:45 Eastern Standard Time. Get back with the person sharing this information with you because we're live on Zoom Monday through Saturday at 10:45 Eastern Standard Time. You don't want to miss that call. I will definitely have a glimpse of that call that was played today from Doctors Collins, Man, it was epic. But get back with the person sharing this content with you so that we can go ahead and get you supported. If that person is me, go straight to y1income.com so we can go ahead and get you set up with your free registration. Thank you so much for your time, and take immediate action just like Miss Edith Smith did.